welcome to the Otakuology Podcast, and this is Gotta Read 'Em All, a Pokemon podcast. I am your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is Jin. He has 2 Pokeballs, Graves. And today, we are looking at chapter, I don't remember what chapter, chapter 23.
We're looking at chapter, I don't remember what chapter 20
of the Pokemon Pokemon manga. I'm fucking tired.
We're reading chapter 23 of our Pokemon manga, Pokemon Adventures.
I'm tired. I had a long...
But this is the 23rd podcast as well.
Yes, it is.
So,
you know how it is.
So, I heard you had a little Pokemon action last night yourself. Whenever somebody else in a party that you went to's
no, we're not talking about that.
Toddler fought somebody else's toddler.
We're not talking about that.
We're
not talking about that.
Fight.
We're not talking about that.
You know, it'd be a really cool...
just because I tell you off the podcast doesn't mean you have to put it on the podcast.
You know what? It would be a really cool adaptation to a video game.
Well, what's that?
Like Street Fighter, but like while you're playing that, you also have a Pokemon that's at your side that's also fighting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
So, let me throw this question to you.
Okay.
What Pokemon would Ryu have?
I don't know.
I think he'd have a Hitmonchan. Or, not a Hitmonchan. A Machamp.
You think so?
Yeah, 4 arms of fury.
Oh.
So what about Blanca?
What about Ken? What would Ken have?
A Meowth.
Why a Meowth?
Because Ken's the money bags, buddy.
Oh, I guess
he's got
right.
And he's still got the Fist of Fury. Meow.
Okay. Well, you want to tell us what happened on the last episode for people who didn't watch or listen to the last episode?
Yeah. On our last episode of the podcast, we recorded an unwind episode for you guys.
No, not that one. I meant the fucking Pokemon episode, dumbass.
I was like, I wonder if Mike's going to catch on with me doing this. No, on the last one, for chapter 22, we were at the second part of our 2-part Safari Zone one, where basically Red got stuck in the Safari Zone and had to come up with a way himself to basically take out some Nidokings and the Bellsprout line.
And if you don't remember, he smuggled a Pokeball in his butthole. That's important to know.
That we think.
We think. We don't know yet.
But then it was weird because Pidgey kept giving him Safari Balls, so he didn't actually use it, but...
I mean, he tried to use that one that he had smuggled somewhere.
That's true.
We don't know where.
That's true. He was like, Pokeball, go!
So fucking stupid.
I didn't think I was going to get the pop down. I was like, oh shit, this might be really bad or really good. But
yeah.
But yeah, he smuggled this Pokeball. I agree. We don't exactly know where it came from, so he might have had it in his prison wallet.
Yeah, we don't know.
But then we get into the start of this next chapter, which I feel like is important / isn't really that important. It's just kids talking about a statue of Giovanni and how he's been gone and everything. And
they're like, so, who's Giovanni, you know?
Yeah. So the first page I feel like is kind of unnecessary here.
Yeah.
But...
Although I feel like when we get to the next page, to be exact, I feel like we missed out on some kind of adventure that happened after the Safari Zone.
We did. What happened in the cave?
Yes. What did Giovanni
the other thing is, you know, there's not a plate or anything telling us which cave it is.
It's just as the Diglett cave that I believe they called it.
Yeah. In Pewter City. So, like, we're kind of backtracking a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely backtracking in
Because
this
I'm like,
aspect.
we've already been here, and then I'm kind of like, is he gonna go see Brock again?
Well, I mean, like, he was in the Safari Zone. How far is the Safari Zone to Pewter City?
I don't know. Hold on. Let me scroll to the back of my book.
You know, but
Safari Zone is, where are you at? 22. Where are we at? Chapter 20. Oh, it's kind of a distance, yeah.
so do you think he just went all the way back to Pewter City for no reason, or he I don't know had to drop off all his Pokemon with Professor Oak?
Oh
What
no,
do
the Safari Zone is probably about the halfway point.
Okay.
Yeah,
But we see Red coming out of a tunnel, and he's with somebody else. Uh, we
a
know who
gentle,
it
a
is.
gentleman in a suit with a shield as an emblem on his
We
chest.
we know who it is. It is Giovanni, the gym leader for the gym that's been closed down, and they were looking for fossils, for Pokemon fossils in this particular cave. Uh,
I
I have
feel
to.
like I feel like he should have had like an alternate name in this because they come out of the cave and he's like, "Oh, Giovanni," and "Oh yeah, I can't remember your name," but I feel like Giovanni should have used like an alias here, maybe like Bob.
Bob, Doug,
Yeah, well, it should have been Bob because then we could have
Bob.
made the joke, Bob, Agent of Hydra.
True, true. Yeah, yeah. But we see them walking and talking. They got their fossils, their Pokemon fossils. Hopefully, they find something hidden within them, you know? And I have to say, Giovanni being nice is off putting because we already know who Giovanni is and what he's done.
Well, as of right now, too, he's got the Brock eyes, and we already know that whenever somebody's got the Brock eyes, and
Yeah.
they open their eyes later on, going forward, that it does get a little
But I think it's
crazy.
funny that Red's doing his very much his boister thing where he's like talking himself up.
Yeah,
And he's like, "Oh, all the gym leaders fear me." And you see Giovanni, and he's like, kind of eyeballing him. I know you did say you liked that scene earlier,
even gym leaders tremble in fear of me.
and we get a little flashback from the Koga and Lieutenant Surge battles that we had, and Giovanni. I feel like Giovanni's really wondering if Red did take them out because Red comes off as being very like childish and kind of stupid almost
Well,
in this chapter.
and he does bring it up at the very end of this chapter,
Hmm.
where he's kind of like, "Oh yeah, I just had to meet the boy." I mean, I feel like it's very Harry Potter esque. I just
So
had to meet the boy that defeated Koga and
do
Surge.
you do you think Giovanni planned this meeting? He was like, "Oh, he's got to be at the
No, I,
tunnel."
I don't think he planned it, but I do think that he knew who he was already.
Okay, okay.
So it was like, oh, I've seen this kid. Let me look at him firsthand.
Oh yes, I already know this little pipsqueak, you know. And we see them walking. They're going to, oh, it was like a museum, a research center,
Yeah, they were going to the Museum of Science.
the Museum of Science. That's such a wonderful name. The Museum of
It's
Science.
blatant. It's blatant. It's like the museum we have here. It's called the Museum of Discovery. They're all
Yeah.
like, that seems a bit on the nose, doesn't
But
it?
what kind of discovery are we talking about?
Yeah, but it's a little kid museum. So,
But they're like, oh man, it's hot out. It's really hot out. And Giovanni,
which on this part right here, I do have to point out, Giovanni knowing the difference between a warm/hot day and the flames from a Pokemon.
yes. Like he knows that much about like
Just from
Pokemon.
the temperature.
Yeah, just from the temperature alone, he's like, the heat caused by these flames. It's wild Magmar. No, it's two Magmar. So he
Yeah,
knows that there's two.
right.
Is he like some kind of psychic or something?
Right?
You
That's what
know?
I'm saying. Like, if you have enough experience to know that, it's almost like if you went on a boat trip with somebody and oh, there's three crocodiles right here in the water, and you're like, what?
How do you know there's 3 crocodiles?
Oh, you see that little swift thing, and the water's bouncing off, and blah 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 blah. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy to think that there's somebody out there that could be Giovanni level and be able to do that.
But we see the Museum of Science is up in flames, and Red is shocked and awe that a Pokemon started this fire. And I like this picture with the 2 Magmars
The one and when they're in the flames.
when they're in the flames. I like that touch. I think that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
But I like Giovanni's like reaction, and because Red pushes him out of the way. He's like, "Look out, Mister! I got this. I know what I'm doing. I'm a Pokemon trainer." And we see Giovanni just sitting back and like studying Red,
Yes.
which is really interesting, and like to see like Giovanni is smart, even though he is putting on like an act.
Right. Well, and one of the other things that this part makes me think is like the Jeffrey Dahmer TV show, like let me take a picture,
Or like,
because he's really focusing on him, like,
yes, yes.
and it's crazy because he's like, and you see Giovanni kind of have those parts where it's like, do I throw my Pokemon out at him? Do I not? What do I do? No,
What?
he's
Yeah.
stupid. No, he's got a good head on his shoulders. I mean, it's kind of like this whole back and forth, almost chess game in his head with every move that Red makes. That Giovanni's like, do I kill him now? Do I let him live? What do I do?
I like this part where he throws out the Snorlax, and Giovanni's like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?"
Right,
Snorlax isn't gonna do nothing for these put out these fires.
right. Well, and
But
if before you read the text or whatever, and you see Snorlax asleep, I'm pretty sure you'd be like, what the fuck is going on throwing out a guy that's asleep?
I mean, he basically says that. Uh, we can see it in Giovanni's face. He's like, "God damn it! Like this kid." Which why did I don't see why Giovanni has a stake in this. Like, why does Giovanni care that the museum is on fire?
Because the museum, I think, is the only place that we know of currently to have the fossils changed.
Okay.
I think that's why. Because, later on they had to find out, I think, like a private owner or somebody has one.
Oh.
So, you know.
But it's funny to see Giovanni's thought process where he's like, this child is raw and has no foresight, but he might be good. Like he
Right.
might have that natural talent as well.
Well,
I
and
like,
even like the Snorlax part right here,
you
though,
know,
he says clever, but a little ruthless, wouldn't you say? And reading that, I was kind of like, but Giovanni's ruthless. Like,
yeah,
so for him to say that, is a little like, but Giovanni, that's you
yeah.
to a T. Like, and thinking about it, like, if we really like thought about it at this point when Giovanni knows Red, there
hmm
could be almost a point that I feel like another timeline, Giovanni could manipulate Red to be the next Giovanni.
I'm just gonna throw this out there.
Yeah.
Giovanni is Red's dad. Just gonna sit. No, I'm just joking. That's not a thing.
No, but how many people are going to be like, Otaku Mike said that Giovanni was Red's dad? Well,
Yeah,
Mrs. Red, there was that one time in college.
because we still don't know who Red's dad is.
What if Giovanni was her professor in school and hooked up?
And then she was like, "Oh, you need to stay after class to raise your grade up and get some extra points."
Right?
Mm-mm-mm. I mean, we haven't seen Red's mom in this, have we?
No, I don't think Red is ever like Ash, where we actually see family members
Wait,
for him.
what am I saying? He has a dad. His dad died.
Well, thanks for spoiling that for me, Mike.
It was at the beginning, right? Because the Poliwhirl was Red's dad's.
Yeah, but I don't think they ever said that he was dead.
Did he? Did they not say he was dead? Or maybe I'm just misremembering things.
Yeah. Because if not, I don't really think they actually touch on any of that.
Oh, okay.
As
In
far as
my head canon, Red's dad's dead.
No, I do agree with you. I do think that they do bring up that the Poliwhirl is his dad's, but I don't know if they actually ever touch more on are they dead, are they still alive, and we never really see them at all.
Yeah.
So
I like this part where Red's trying to figure out what Pokemon to use, and he's like going through his Pokemon, and his Pokemon are still like low health and like stuff like that.
I
But
like that he can see that,
yes, I like that
because
too.
how many people would have just thrown it out and been like, "Oh shit, my guy got taken out."
We'll sacrifice you.
Right. Well, you might not have known though. You might not have. But I do have to question why he didn't throw two out, because he could have done everything like he did with Sandshrew and then still
True. I
use
have to
Poliwrath.
say, I like it. I like Sandshrew.
Yeah.
I think Sandshrew is a very underrated Pokemon. It's cute, adorable, doesn't get a lot of hype. He's very much one of those forgotten Pokemon, I feel like.
And he turns into a ball.
And he turns into a ball. He's a little armadillo.
And another thing that you can like,
What?
when he evolves, he technically turns into Sonic the Hedgehog.
True. But I like Sandshrew more than Sandslash.
Yeah.
But we see, and Giovanni's like kind of dumbfounded that Red just threw out this really low level Pokemon of Sandshrew. And Red's kind of pushing Giovanni out of the way. And he basically uses Dig to basically suffocate the fire and
He uses
throws.
Sand Attack.
Is it Sand Attack? Okay, I thought it was like a dig, kind of. Okay, because it looks like he's digging.
Yeah.
But it does say Sand Attack on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and this is something else, pointing out that I like. This is another thing that I really enjoy reading about the manga, because in the game, you're never going to have a situation where you can go, oh, well, I use Sand Attack, and then it's not directed as an attack.
What I was getting
I like it here because it's directed as like a secondary. Automatically, I'm using this to like attack the flames, not attack the Pokemon.
It says Sand Attack,
Yeah.
but in the little like sound effects, it says dig, 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 dig.
Yeah.
That's where I got confused.
Dig, 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 dig. And then, there could be a move called woo.
Yeah.
Do you see that one with the flames?
Like,
what if all the Pokemon names were made out of sound effects?
Like, pa! Or pew pew.
Yeah. Poo poo poo. All right, I need you to use boof. Now use woo.
He basically takes out these two Magmar with the Sand Attack by like smothering all the flames. And Giovanni's like, what he lacks in knowledge, he makes up for his ingenuity. Perhaps he is really good.
Right.
Perhaps. Giovanni's kind of like, I think Giovanni has kind of dropped his guard a little bit in this. It seems like he's like, obviously Red can't see Giovanni because Giovanni is standing behind him, and it's all like inner monologue and stuff. But I like how Red takes out the Magmar with the Sandshrew, and it's almost like a weird like sand vortex. It looks like
Yeah.
in that part, and then Giovanni's getting ready to take out a Pokemon.
Yeah.
At this point.
Which do you think too? Well, there's also another part where he talks about the sand's hitting them, but it's not doing anything. It just seems to be annoying them. And Red says, "I don't need a backseat driver."
Yes.
Which
Red knows what he's talking about, right?
Yeah, he knows that he's talking about, hey, my attack's not really doing that much, which I kind of wonder too if in Giovanni's head, knowing that he defeated Koga and Lieutenant Surge, if Giovanni's not on his high horse and he's like, well, I could beat Koga and Lieutenant Surge, like they're not the best people, I don't really think that even though this kid has some kind of ability, so to
Hmm.
speak, that he's not somebody that can beat me.
True. I mean, because
So
Giovanni is one of the best. He's not the best, but he's one of them. Like, isn't
yeah,
he like?
because he's the leader of Lieutenant of Team Rocket.
But isn't he like one of like the hardest gyms?
Yeah, he's the eighth gym.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I don't know if you can really say that though, if he is one of the hardest or not.
Okay.
Because it all just depends really
Yeah.
on stuff. People like to akin that, but the manga I feel is where he really gets fleshed out more as being, that top tier kind of trainer.
Mhm.
Like if he wanted to, he could be like part of the Elite Four or even maybe the champion. But it's that he doesn't care for that because there's no money in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which would be cool to know if like maybe there was a story where he did do that and maybe he was like, oh, I have dreams of being the champion, and got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And then from there he was like so overcome with rage or whatever that he formed Team Rocket.
Uh,
Um, but we also have here where Sandshrew, uh, Red uses run, so he's trying to run away. He just basically kind of makes the sandstorm thing that you brought up,
yeah.
and the Magmars and stuff are covered in sand. I believe here it was kind of like a thunderstorm kind of thing where the lightning hits sand and it kind of crystallizes. I think
Oh,
that's kind of what.
you think so?
Yeah, I think the sand kind of like crystallized on him from the heat.
Oh, interesting. I guess I can see that now because they kind of looked a little different.
Yeah, well, and they're stuck there.
Yeah. And Red's happy that he fought the the Magmar. I'm surprised he didn't try to catch the Magmar.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
That is true.
normally he's all about catching Pokemon, and he didn't catch the Magmar.
Maybe he, because Gary had a Magmar, right?
I
Or
don't
not
think
Gary,
so.
Red, Blue. Um, I don't know.
No, I don't think he has a Magmar.
I don't know.
But I like this part where he's like, where Giovanni's like, you gonna strike the final blow, and Red's like, nah, I'm not that kind of guy. And he's like, I can't attack a defenseless opponent. And Giovanni is taken off guard, and you see Red walk away, and Giovanni's like, I'm not above this. I'll fucking attack him.
Right?
I'll attack the Magmar. But do you want to go into this next part with what Giovanni gives Red?
Yeah.
You were surprised by this, like you remembered this. I don't know exactly what this is.
So this is one of the ambers,
Hmm.
kind of like the little thing from Jurassic Park with the mosquito in it.
I got that reference because they're like, oh, there's a bug in it.
Yeah. So that's kind of what it is, but it's got the blood DNA of an ancient Pokemon. Well, at the time of this, we either have Kabuto, Kabutops, Ammonite, Amistar, and Aerodactyl, and we know later on that part of Red's main team is going to be an Aerodactyl, and that was one of the things I completely forgot. Is like, how did he actually get the Aerodactyl?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of the whole part like he got it in a cave, like they allude to in the regular Pokemon show. But
Hmm.
I guess it's not, doesn't hold up. So I don't know what I
I
was
guess
thinking of.
so.
But yeah, he
But
gives him that. I wonder if he gave it to him thinking like it's going to be a shitty Pokemon.
you think so?
Yeah, because I
Like,
feel
oh,
like
you get
he
like a
gave him a small
Kabuto.
one. Yeah, or I feel like he gave him a small one because he does bring up, oh well, there might not be anything on there. which what if Giovanni accidentally gave him one that he didn't think, like he thought he was giving him a rock,
Oh, maybe.
because he just kind of say that I'm giving you a parting gift. These might just be useless pebbles, or maybe to discourage him from like, oh,
Maybe.
if I tell him that, he won't try and waken it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. And they both depart and go their separate ways. And, Red says bye and uh, he tells him to take care and whatnot. And we see Giovanni staying behind. And he's like, I'm going to do what needs to be done, basically. And I didn't know that Magmars follow the thing that defeated it. So, like, they try to track down the thing that beat it.
I didn't know that either.
And we see the Magmars jump out and uh, Giovanni releases his, is it a cloister?
Yeah,
It's a cloister. And he like freezes them, and then you notice this. I didn't notice this, but they both like get cut in half,
yeah.
which you said that was brutal. Like a
Oh
lot
yeah,
like the
man.
zombie Pokemon we had
Yeah,
when the
man.
zombie
That's like,
Pokemon showed up.
yeah. This is
Yeah.
probably like the third or fourth thing that's happened in the Pokemon manga that's just brutal. Because we
Yeah.
never really see Pokemon ever die.
Or with like the Arbok that got decapitated.
Yeah, the zombie Arbok.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it also shows how ruthless Giovanni actually is. He's willing to sacrifice Pokemon, unlike Red, who's not willing to take that final blow.
yeah,
And like how much powerful Giovanni is to like Red, who's like just a normal trainer at this time,
right, right,
But we end this seeing the reveal that Giovanni is actually a member of the infamous Team Rocket, and he's wondering if Red's actually going to be a threat to Team Rocket down in the future. And
right. Yeah. Well,
which,
and I think he's wondering if he actually even needs to worry about him taking him out, or if he ever really needs to worry about because he does say that basically he's such a fool and that he thinks that he'll take himself out, you know.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, no. So, what did you think of this chapter?
um, I actually like this one because we did get to see more of Red's ingenuity with
Uh
it,
huh.
and we kind of got to see this, even though part of it seemed weird because you have to really focus on the word bubble slash the thought bubble of if
Yeah.
Giovanni said it out loud and Red ignored it, kind of sort of, or if it was in Giovanni's head,
Mhm.
um, with different things. So
So, I thought this chapter was just okay.
yeah,
There are parts that I liked about it, but honestly, I feel like it does add more to the story, possibly in the long run of things.
yeah,
But it's a lot like sort of like almost like a cleanser or like a filler to an extent, kind of. For me personally, kind of like the last two chapters were
yeah.
a little bit. Like I know Giovanni's a big thing, and he'll have a bigger role down the road.
Hey, buddy, but you gotta rate this one higher because this is a first character reveal.
It is a first character reveal, even though I already know who Giovanni is.
Right.
But I mean, it's not a bad chapter. It
Yeah.
just it wasn't like it didn't hook me
Yeah.
like not the Safari Zone, but the other chapters before that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I mean, it could be the time that it took us in between to record these again.
Possibly possibly that
Um,
because it's been like a month or two since we recorded a Pokemon episode, I think.
yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe the hype died down for me, but it does get points because my boy Snorlax was in it. My boy
Right.
Snorlax showed up for a little bit. He didn't do much, but he was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. I always like it if there's somebody that's on Red's like main team shows up, so Snorlax, um, because sometimes you'll get ones where it'll be like Sandshrew, we might never see Sandshrew again.
Yeah, like
You know,
what a pool Sandshrew was basically.
right, right. So and I kind of hate that about part of it because I feel like we don't get the connection with some of the guys as much as we should.
Like the connection that we have with like Poliwrath and Bulbasaur and Pikachu,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we've spent time with them, but to have just the random Snorlax hasn't done much in the book so far, even
So
though
far,
he,
yeah. So far, yeah. Snorlax has done quite a bit that we've had,
yeah,
but he hasn't. He's not on par with them.
yeah,
But I mean, we have other people like the Sandshrew and like oh shoot, what's another guy that he's used just like in passing, like a Bellsprout or something like that. Like other guys that we know aren't actually going to get used like anymore, except for that one advertisement for that one chapter.
yeah.
Um, are we going to see him use the Nidokings from the Safari Zone again? Probably not.
I think he should. I think he should bring out a Nidoking.
No shit, I think he should bring out a Nidoking. I mean, that would be really cool to see some of the other ones brought back out. And Pokemon is the perfect medium to do that because it would almost be like a combination of like a WWE wrestler coming back after a long time or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
And you see him throw it out, and maybe they can do like you just see the shadow of the guy real quick. And then
yeah,
here's this Nidoking running out, and you're like, I remember when Red caught that guy.
yeah,
Like, so I think it's an opportunity that's a little lost with that, especially because they want to keep the main team kind of there the whole time and things
yeah.
like that. But um, yeah, I mean, we had that. We had the expression for getting this amber that we know will have
Well,
a fossil
I had
Pokemon.
no idea about it.
Well, I mean, just a fossil Pokemon in general.
I thought he was just giving him a fucking rock.
No, it's a fossil Pokemon.
Well, I didn't know that.
So we know that there will be that will come later. Um, we had the reveal of Giovanni, our big bad villain guy.
Which I was I was kind of surprised to see him in this.
Yeah,
To be honest, like I thought that Giovanni would get revealed like later,
yeah.
later on. Even though like I'm using like my meta knowledge of Pokemon and whatnot, but like
Meta knowledge.
of knowing like who Giovanni Tech actually is.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Misty shows up in the next chapter.
Well, hey. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought this was okay. It's not my favorite chapter.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite chapter, but it was okay. I mean, I might have to go back and start reading Pokemon again. Maybe there was just too much time in between the chapters that we talked about it.
You're gonna start back over with my book 2, but you're part 2.
Probably.
Be like, all right, you're gonna go back. Although I would like to go back, and I'll have to see if I can find my volume 1 because I feel like it's in that.
Yeah.
Of where Red brings up where he's like, I feel like I've seen you before.
Oh yeah, because doesn't he see him when they go to the gym?
No, I think he sees his statue outside of the thing too.
Or was it when he saw Mewtwo?
No, I don't think so. I think that's when
Okay.
we see Koga. But
Okay, because I mean, he references that he's seen him, but he doesn't
yeah.
know where he's from.
But I think whenever he goes past the Viridian City gym, he sees that statue of him.
Okay.
And I think that might be the reveal that we're talking about, that hey, this is where basically it comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So maybe that's where he knows him from. I don't know. I would like to go back and kind of comb through it and see if he does see the statue, or if he does see Giovanni somewhere, or a picture of him or something like that. And that's where he's like, I think I know you from this.
Yeah.
Or even if he sees him, maybe because he's a researcher, maybe he saw him on TV. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, we don't
Because
know.
do we really know at this point that Giovanni is. I mean, we know from the end of the chapter, but does society really know who the leader of Team Rocket is, or do they just know? Oh, it's an organization.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so I've been flipping through the next couple chapters.
yeah.
This looks like it's gonna be fucking fire.
You stupid. It's gonna be fire. Well, I mean, and in the next one, one of my favorite Pokemon comes out.
Dragonite.
Dragonite.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this, thanks for listening. Share the podcast with all your friends and family. It helps us out in the long run. That's the best way to help us out, is to listen and to share the podcast to get people to come back and listen. Obviously,
Right,
but
especially with this one for
why?
any Pokemon fan
Oh, with any
that is
Pokemon
out there.
fans?
Yes,
Okay, yeah,
because everybody might not like everything else we cover, but people have to love Pokemon,
that's true. Everybody loves Pokemon, right?
right? Oh my god, I thought it was something stupid.
What?
Instead of I love corn, I love Pokemon.
I love corn.
I also love Pokemon. Pokemon. A little too far there, kid. A little too far there.
I mean, who doesn't love corn?
Talking about eating Pokemon.
Ooh, that's a new kink.
I love Pokemon. Pokemon. Wish I had one of them Krabbies right now. Give me some Krabby legs.
Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next episode.
See ya next Tuesday. Bye.